Today is Wednesday, December 18th, 2019. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is our recap of the finale of Survivor Island of the Idols.
The finale episode was titled Mama Look at Me Now, and that was spoken by Dean.
The finale starts on day 36 with Rob and Sandra talking about their love of the game and different things in Survivor that they've learned. And Rob talking about meeting Amber and what a gift that was for him. And
Sandra talking about what a gift that money was for her.
That's right.
Money, money, money.
That's how she supported her families. Okay, and
I got a question for you. So their big pitch is they made better Survivor players. What do you think?
In some cases, yes. And in some cases, I don't think it made any difference.
Yeah, no.
So, yes and no.
Okay.
And but they tell us, Rob tells us only 3 of the 5 are going to make it to the finale, and only one will win.
All right, we get to see the castaways get their note. They're all going to live on Island of the Idols.
Grab all your belongings and get on the boat. So they kind of know what that means.
Dean tells us it's time to turn it up a notch and close it out.
Now, Tommy was not surprised. So they'd already told him, right?
What?
That Rob and Sandra were out there.
Must have, yeah. Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
I mean, he said, he wanted to hug first because he was the only one who hadn't been there.
Yeah, he hadn't got to meet them.
When they arrived, yeah.
So, but... Okay, they arrive at the Island of the Idols, are greeted by Rob and Sandra, and Tommy gets his hug. They all hug, and then Rob and Sandra give them a little talk.
And then they leave.
Yeah, then they leave.
And they tell us that their gift's still in the game if you're open to looking for them.
Yes, so hopefully they were all listening for clues. Certainly Tommy was. But
he was paying attention, yeah. What'd you think about that special buff? That was
that
cool.
was pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, on one hand, it's another buff you have to get if you're a buff collector, but that was neat. It was a special event.
Well, and it's a very special buff, and only 5 people got one, so how cool is that?
Yeah. Oh, you don't think you'll be able to buy it, huh? Maybe not. Maybe it will.
I don't know that they would.
Maybe it'll be that special. I can't imagine they won't want to make a buck off that, though, with the clue in it. And
well, hopefully nobody else had it right then anyway.
Yeah.
They got to be special for a little bit, even if they don't forever, so they'll still feel special.
Sandra and Boston Rob are out.
Well, and the good news, they get to stay at their house.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, woohoo. That seems like a palace from what they're used to.
Definitely.
Got a good roof on it. They could probably stay dry.
I did like Tommy's comment. He said, we just outlasted Rob and Sandra.
That's true.
Get a little dig in. So
that was a good one.
They left them some fruit, and they got some chickens, although it didn't look like they were in any hurry to kill them and eat them. They just let the chickens run around, didn't they?
Yep.
Yeah. So potentially there was chicken to eat if they chose.
And Rob tells us that he sure hopes they were paying attention to what he said, because they didn't leave without leaving a little something.
Janet and Tommy are happy. They're solid as far as they're concerned.
That's when I got nervous.
And Dean and Nora say Janet's the bigger threat. You definitely got to get rid of Janet before you make fire.
And they're still doing the Tommy and Mommy thing.
Mm.
And you don't like to see Tommy cut Mommy's throat. Though I was not surprised, and it was good gameplay for him. So,
just gonna jump right to that?
No, I just.
Oh, okay. You couldn't help yourself. Yeah.
It was on my mind.
Nora tells us that Dean is a weasel, like an ex-boyfriend, but she needs to get rid of Dean.
Yeah, well, she'll be changing her tune soon. Okay, so Tommy starts looking around, and even Dean's looking for.
I think he notices Tommy looking, so that triggers him to look
looking around a
too.
little bit too.
Yeah.
Just looking for anything out of the ordinary, which is exactly what you should do all the time on Survivor.
That's got to be exhausting, but you're right. So Tommy gets focused on the buff, and he realizes there's a clue there. There's a machete. So he goes looking for the machete, and lo and behold, he uncovers one of my biggest concerns as someone who has considered playing the game and submitted tapes and videos for it and all that.
Which he is?
Tommy's colorblind, so he's not quite sure what he's looking at or what the significance may be. And I don't know how much time I've spent thinking about, would I share that? Would I not share that? Because you got to almost be guaranteed that if you share something like that, it's going to get used against you.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is he needs help, just like I need your help all the time with color.
Yeah, you do. You're always like, what color is this light? What color is this one? It's like, they're all green.
Or I'll say something is this color. Like, for some reason, I had it stuck in my head that the
You always say
backpack-
blue, but I know it's purple.
Yeah, well, there's that. I can't tell the difference because the red's a thing.
You said bring the blue backpack.
Blue-gray one.
It's like there is no.
It's black, right? Isn't that what you said?
Yeah.
I don't know how I was
Like
that far off on that, but in my head, it looked blue.
It's like, okay, I'll just look inside and make sure it's got your
Tablet
in there. Yep, this is it.
Yeah, it's an everyday thing for sure that you're dealing with, and we get to see Tommy dealing with that, and he goes to Dean for some help.
I can't believe this, actually, now that we're talking about it, this is the first time we've seen that come up.
Yeah, I can't remember anyone having to deal with it.
You and I deal with it all the time, to the point that I even match your clothes up. That's how I hang them in the closet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you would go to work, I would hang your dress shirt first, and then I would hang your pants with your socks draped over the pants, and
so I don't make some gray fashion error.
yeah, or wake me up every morning and go, does this match with this? And it's like, well, you know, I can just do that. It's not a problem to just hang your clothes that way.
Yep.
So it worked for us. And then if you were traveling, I could pack them that way.
Didn't exactly work out for Dean and Tommy
not
with Dean
so much
this
for
time,
Tommy, But you know, you have
a-
to make that choice.
Right. They make a final two pledge, and you can see where it shows Dean stepping over it. The camera will always highlight when they're near something interesting. And we get to see Janet go near it first, and then Dean steps over it. This is before they even know what to look for.
Yep. Well, and they thought it was like an H. I'm still not certain what it actually was, but it was a mark for sure.
Tommy's getting a little frustrated with Dean. Dean's over worried about his hip health, doing yoga. And Tommy wants his buddy to be searching with him.
Well, and Dean was acting very uninterested, which was good on Dean. But that wasn't it at all, Tommy.
Right.
So
Tommy found the first mark in the walkway there.
And Dean said, thank you.
No, Dean said, I gotta poop. I'll help you look
Okay.
when I'm done.
It's like, thanks for sharing. TMI.
Yeah. Tommy's just convinced Dean's no help.
Yep. And meanwhile, Dean just goes over. He's like, I know I've seen that. And this kind of looks like the swing over there.
Mm-hmm.
Go over there and swing and look around, and which was very smart. He did that very well. I thought they really highlighted him, you know.
Working through that?
Yeah. They were highlighting him a lot at that point. So I thought, had to think, is he getting a winner's edit? What's going on? But okay, he sees the symbol on the bamboo.
On the shelter.
Yeah, the bamboo on the shelter on the corner there. And he bides his time till everyone's
Busy.
out doing something and busy. And he gets the other machete, sticks it in there, and opens that bad boy right up.
Viola, hidden immunity idol. Wow.
Awesome. You know what I didn't like
What's
during
that?
this time? Was Tommy telling him, now, you know, if you find it, it's mine.
Yeah,
I'm
Tommy,
thinking,
it doesn't work
really,
that way.
Tommy? You really think he's going to do that? I wouldn't. And neither would you. So But I guess he thought, if I tell him he has to, he will.
He's used to telling his
He'll
kids
give it
what to
me.
do in the classroom.
Because I found it.
I'm the teacher.
I found it.
Yes.
And I'm just sharing it with him. But
This
but
is
it's
teaching,
mine.
Teaching with Tommy.
So
Dean tells us Tommy will never find it now. Tommy's playing the 4th grade game, and Dean's way ahead.
But Tommy was still looking and probably still thinking how lazy Dean was.
All right, so day 37, we're on to immunity and reward. So they got to retrieve these rope rungs to make a rope ladder, and then maneuver balls
Say that
up
3 times quickly.
a pole that has sliding steps in it. So that one's a little tricky too. And then one of those puzzles where you have to shift the board around to move the ball through a maze and land it in a couple of spots.
Yeah, it wasn't easy. It wasn't terribly complicated.
Right.
I thought they'd have another puzzle or something, but I kind of like this even better. It wasn't easy by any means, though. You could tell the maze was pretty tough to get around corners without.
Yeah. What did you think about Dean's strategy versus everyone else's?
I thought that was right on.
Yeah, go for the far one? Or the deep one, as
Yep.
Probst kept
Yeah,
saying?
I think so, because I think you probably would risk putting all the energy into that and then knocking it out, trying to get down to the lower one. So yeah, I kind of thought that'd be safer. The shorter one was more direct.
So we had some good tension in the challenge with people catching up and then pulling away and then catching up again. But Dean ends up winning individual immunity. So he's got a hidden immunity idol, individual immunity, and an idol nullifier. Wow, that's
And a legacy advantage.
Well, the old
A fake legacy.
right, which had expired.
Yeah.
But the consolidation of power there was quite impressive.
It was. And that he got to eat steaks and potatoes and salad.
What'd you think about his choice?
I thought it was actually quite good.
Yeah, you thought it was smart to take Nora?
Well, he took a big chance, but he did have a reason for it. So I guess he got away with it, because what are they going to say at this point in the game anyway? They might not like it, but they don't have as many people to choose from. So, and Dean's kind of in control right now. So he did get to say, and I think it was good to get Nora on his side. I think that was helpful. Whether he was doing it to work her as a potential jury member or as an ally, or just so she doesn't target him. Maybe he knew she'd already put a target on his back. But anyway, I thought it was fine for him to choose her. What about you?
I suppose he was sitting in such a sweet spot, it might actually be difficult to think strategically at that point, especially when that hadn't necessarily been his strong suit before.
Well, I can say I was surprised. I expected him to take Tommy.
Right.
Though I was already starting to think, but that just means you'll fuel Tommy up to help fight against you in the next challenge. And I'm not sure that's smart.
There's still complicated decisions to be made even at this late stage in the game.
That's why Nora won.
I did like what he said, where he said, "I'm no longer a goat. I've got this individual immunity, the nullifier, the hidden immunity idol," and that's when we get the title. Look at me now. All right, they're back after the challenge, and it's time to feast. So Nora and Dean sit down, and it got weird quick.
Okay, yeah, that was weird. That was weird.
Nora declares that Dean is actually a man today. He had been a boy previously, but now she's dubbed him a man, which therefore evidently somehow makes him attractive to her.
It was all quite strange to me.
"I'm not looking down on you anymore," she says.
Well, and even...
And she tells the camera the flirting's growing on her.
And Dean saying, "Now you owe me." I'm thinking, I'm not sure that's ever a good thing to say.
Makes the final two pitch, and that seems to go over pretty well.
Yeah, that does.
Nora agrees to
But
take him.
what was this whole... feels like she's on a date.
That's
It's
the weird
kinda
part.
Pleasant and romantic. And Dean was just really... This is not a date. Be very clear. And he had to be a little nervous with other things that had gone on. He's like, no, this isn't a date. Don't even think about it.
So for our final 5 order, we had Janet going first, then Lauren, then Nora, then Dean, then Tommy. So when we heard Nora say, we need Janet out, and he's buttering me up so that we can make that happen, but she said she liked it, even though she recognized what he was doing.
Here's a weird thing, though.
Weird?
We didn't do that together. I didn't know your choice, and you didn't know mine.
Right.
And I changed mine 3 times, and you changed yours twice.
Correct.
She said, oh, I changed it again. I said, yeah, I did too, and I might change it again.
Well, I did the sentimental version first where I had Janet winning.
I did too. And then I thought, oh, I
that
just
ain't making sense.
really don't
it's going
believe
against
that's
everything we
happen.
discussed. And the listener feedback show.
And I woke up early this morning, even before you did, and went in and changed it for the first time today. And so anyway, I just thought it was so weird that we ended up at the exact order. We don't usually do that. But anyway.
Okay.
It was
You might
good.
be reading a little too much into that.
It was still weird. I thought it was. And then people posted on Facebook, I had this order. And I'm like, so did I.
Doesn't that make it less weird? When
No,
you see the
I still thought it was
increase? Oh, okay.
I was like, oh, but that's the order I chose to.
Weird. It's weird.
It was.
Janet hatches a master plan with Tommy. She wants him to put all the votes on her, and then she'll vote Lauren, and Lauren will be gone because Lauren's the biggest social threat.
Well, Janet just got, when you get,
She got
and
ahead
you
of herself.
see them get,
Yeah.
and you're so
Sad.
positive. Of course, she had a right to be. She did have an idol, but they do know that idol nullifiers exist now, so you can't always be that confident. But
She tells us she's planning her final tribal speech.
yeah, I thought, oh no.
Yeah. This ain't gonna end well.
I mean, I know I got points and stuff, but that it wasn't that many points, and I really like Janet, so I'd have been okay if I had that wrong. But
Tommy tells us he loves Janet, but he needs her gone.
well, that's true.
And he declares that when he's talking with Lauren, he tells us that Lauren has been my ride or die since day one.
Which kind of surprised me. I really thought that Janet had also been one of his very first. But I guess Lauren was before her.
Evidently. All right, Tommy is trying to convince Dean to play that nullifier on Janet, Tommy and Lauren. Dean's no dum-dum at this point. He knows that Lauren's pushing for that and that he can decide. And as far as he's concerned, Lauren's the bigger threat.
Well, and that she really hates it, that he's in control of her fate.
Yeah.
Nobody likes that.
No, of course not.
But she really didn't like it.
Dean was pretty straightforward about the whole thing. He even told Tommy, Lauren's my biggest threat to a final two.
But I think Janet's an equal threat, so I didn't. The only reason to, and this is why I changed it, is because I thought Dean has to play the nullifier. It's the last time. He has to play it. And Janet has to play her idol. It's the last time she can use it.
They don't have to, but you're right. There's the likelihood's very
but
high.
why wouldn't they? In my mind, yeah, they have to because it's the last time you can, and it would be silly if you didn't. So I thought, and I can't see him doing that to her and not voting for her because that just didn't make sense. And that's how I came to that conclusion.
And sure enough, Tommy makes sure Dean knows that she has it.
Yep.
Okay, off to the final 5 tribal council there on night 37.
Okay.
Probst highlights that Dean's second immunity win ensures that he is on his way to final 4. And Dean tells the jury and Probst that his mind's on who's next.
Well, and people are already thinking about it. Nobody wants to go up against Janet. I think she pushed that a little too hard. She thought it would make them afraid, and it did, enough to get her out now. So they don't have to worry about it again. Because probably no one, and especially after she talks about being able to make it in like 1 second.
In the new stone fireplace there at Island of the Idols.
That did not help you any. You know, you never know if something's going to help you or backfire, and that one backfired.
Even declared herself as the fire lady. Got a little little speech there from Nora and one of her replies about how the jury's perspective creates the reality.
I thought she might have made a couple good points in the jury with that.
Yeah, every once in a while, it's like she runs broadside into lucidity.
I know.
And you get to hear that.
Like,
and then
wow.
she's off to crazy town again after that.
I imagine the jury felt that way at times, too. Like, yeah, she's actually making sense. Oh, there she goes. No,
I got to believe this is the first time someone used the word rubric there in one of their tribal council's
I didn't
answers.
even hear it.
Oh, Tommy was talking about when he goes to grade. There's really one master sheet when he's doing the grade, but he was building off of what Nora had said about the jury's perspective, and that in this case you've got to handle all these different perspectives. There's more than one rubric to manage. He's just saying it's complex at the end.
Yeah, and what was Dean saying about correcting Janet, that it was more like flipping a coin instead of rolling the dice?
Just that it was 50-50. It was heads or tails, as opposed to 1 out of 6 or 1 out of 10 or whatever.
Yeah, I was really focused on Aaron, so I didn't hear everything Dean was saying, because I thought Aaron just seems to be listening so closely to what Dean's saying that I missed part of what Dean was saying, because I was thinking, what is he listening to so intently? So I could have been wrong. Who knows? But that's where my mind went, wondering, why is Aaron...
Tommy gives Dean a grade of A for his math skills there by the time they're done answering those questions.
Thank you, Tommy.
Tommy tells the confessional camera there that he is sorry when he goes to cast his vote for Janet. Janet plays her hidden immunity idol, and yes, indeed, the idol nullifier had been played. Probst flips it around, and Janet's name's on there, so all votes for Janet will count.
Oh,
your idol has no power. Yeah, you saw
Janet. She was just like,
the hope die and just exit her body there.
It's like, oh.
The jury is paying really close attention. They picked up on the fact that Dean was the one who had pulled off the idol nullifier, even without having been told. So we get 1 vote for Lauren, and then we get 3 votes for Janet, and Janet gives hugs for everybody and gets her torch snuffed.
Yeah, at least Tommy said, you're an unbelievable woman. I'm so sorry for this.
And you get to hear Aaron over in the jury say no one wanted the fire challenge with Janet. And that was exactly how you flip that around to make sure that she goes 5th. Yeah.
And then the jury's like, oh, it was Dean. He played it. It's like, yep, he did. And Janet is out. We got our first vote out points.
Yep. So you get a quick confessional with her where she said that she is really sad and she was crying that she had allowed herself to be hopeful, but she was still proud of her game.
Yep. And I think she's a good girl.
All right, cut out to the finale, and Probst brings her out, and she gets a standing ovation a couple times. And she declares that she hates the nullifier, especially at Final 5.
That was just almost a touch of humor there.
It was a little,
of course,
little brutal, because like you were saying, people are going to feel compelled to play them.
Yep.
And if they get wind of the fact that you have an idol, then kaboom, it's gone.
Well, and Jeff didn't let her totally get away with that. He's like, you told Tommy about the idol.
Yeah, she owned it, too. She said,
like,
I totally regretted doing that afterwards, too. I had a gut feeling.
You can understand the excitement of finding it. And then, Tommy, I found an idol.
With your alliance.
What did I just do?
Yeah.
Because it really is better if you don't know. Because you just don't know when even your own alliance is going to use it against you.
Sounded like Janet had gotten some great outpourings of support from folks, from fans, and people writing in and letting her know that they're working to live their truth, and she was a good role model for them.
Yeah, that's really awesome. And as she was very awesome, I enjoyed her very much and hated to see her
as they
get voted off.
Cut out to the audience as they go to a commercial there, I heard Probst say, that's a lot of love, when they were standing together, and the audience was giving her another standing ovation.
Yeah.
Very nice.
She deserved it.
Okay, back at Island of the Idols there on day 38, Dean is practicing fire making.
He's sure everyone else will too, but Lauren comes around. She's kind of watching him.
And he declares that he has never made fire. Whole time out there.
But why? I don't get that.
People are stupid. It's just that simple.
But Lauren
Because you know who
wasn't
else
either.
hadn't made fire? Lauren.
And Tommy.
People are stupid. No, Tommy knew how to make fire. I think he had even made it.
He said he didn't.
Well, he said no one saw him.
Well, there's usually always people around, but anyway.
What'd you think about his plan to tell Nora that he can't make it? He's really worried.
That could have backfired, but it didn't.
Nope.
It played just like he wanted it to, and I appreciated the fact that he was doing it before he knew whether she had any control or power.
Right,
that
before they had gone to the immunity
all the difference
challenge.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
When you do that, people discount what you say to them once they're in power. It's like, oh, everybody's trying to kiss up now. You don't pay that much attention. But because he took people aside beforehand.
And he swore on his life.
Well.
Which he had never done before.
Yeah, well, it's okay, whatever. But
Tommy tells us he's pretty sure Dean didn't mean his final two pledge to him.
Mm-hmm. But Nora gets all caught up in the attention.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh my goodness.
Finally, the attention I deserve.
She's attracted to Dean, and then she's like, oh, well, it's time for whatever serves me best. Yeah, I thought, well
she starts speaking in the third person. Yeah, and then she gets distracted by Dean doing yoga down the beach.
It's like, okay, all right.
She's,
you
like
have
you
been
said,
out there a long time.
She's ecstatic that it's finally about me. That should have been the title right there. I like that better. Yeah. It's finally about me.
It's finally about me and what serves me.
Yeah. Okay, day 38. Time for the Final Four Immunity Challenge. This is a tough one for sure. We've seen this one before.
Well, and once again, they're taking that necklace back from Dean, just like the last challenge. And they get this stack of letter blocks.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one to finish putting it together goes to the final three.
Yeah, and gets to pick someone to sit beside him, and then, therefore, we indirectly picks the two people that'll have to face off in the fire challenge. So they got to spell out Island of the Idols on this big, shaky platform.
Oh, that looks so tough.
It looks
the learning curve.
Super frustrating, yeah.
Very,
and we've certainly seen it before.
Tommy really never did. Well, Tommy or Lauren really never did get the full hang of it, no.
No, it didn't seem like it. Every time they started to get some momentum, they dumped all their letters.
Well, you have to give Nora that she did really well in challenges. She did build a resume. It wasn't a full resume, but it was definitely a resume.
Okay.
And she did have something to say. Her delivery, however.
We're not quite at Final Tribal Council yet.
Just say it.
I liked when, before they got started, when the camera cut to Nora, you get this magic music in the background there that was different from everyone else. Lauren gets frustrated. She gives us one of those classic, really? And the Probst fires back, really? And she dumps the letters off.
Material.
Yeah.
So, well, Dean and Nora get 2 words then, so they're on a roll. And it looks like at this point that Tommy and Nora are just, Tommy and Lauren are out of it. And Lauren's like, keep going. Nora could drop.
Mm-hmm.
Blah, blah, blah. It's like, you keep going. I think it almost seemed like she thought, I'm never getting this, so you guys
cheer
keep
for
trying
someone
to
else.
beat her.
Yeah. Well, Dean got close, and then he dumped a bunch of letters again, and
yep.
Nora was able to get a lock on it.
That was impressive. It really was.
Her third individual immunity win.
Good on you, Nora.
Guaranteed the final 3. Pick someone to sit beside her, and then the other 2 folks have to face off in a fire-making challenge.
And she cries and tells us, look what I can do.
Mm-hmm.
Or she used third person, look what you can do. And she tells us she thought she'd be the first one out, which that doesn't surprise me. So she really has come a long way.
Yeah, she has these little spurts of self-awareness.
Mm-hmm.
I think if she had really put it together right, she could have been a threat. We haven't seen the cuckoo person really nail that yet and show up at the end to cash that cuckoo check and get the win. She gets a big hug from Jeff.
And Tommy tells us, a lot of people's gotten hugs from Jeff this season.
Uh-huh.
Elaine
Is that
got
what
a
Tommy
hug
told
and
us?
a kiss. And
Yeah?
no, that's not what Tommy told
That's how you
us.
started your sentence?
Well, but then I changed my mind.
Okay.
Because you distracted me with another thought. Okay, Tommy says Nora changes her mind all the time.
Yeah.
All over the place. So he's a little disgusted that she's in control.
Me, I'm thinking this is exactly what you get for leaving her in the game this long.
Yep.
You big chucklehead.
You thought that, did you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Nora tells everyone, announces that she would like to relax for just a little bit and take a swim, maybe have some pineapple. And then she would come back and tell them what she had decided and why, give them all her reasoning.
And she wants it to be bold and zesty.
And Lauren's like, can't we just do it now?
What is wrong with you?
Nora's like, no, I really want to go swim. Be in the water a little bit and relax. And they're all three just sitting up there waiting.
Yeah, as she goes down and gets rolled by the waves. You've had some experience with that, huh? Did you relate?
Me
Did you
being
see
rolled by the waves?
Did you see her?
Yeah, I saw her sitting there, but it was nothing like me.
No.
I couldn't get up at all.
No.
I had fins on, couldn't get off the rocks. You took us to shore where there were rocks.
I didn't take you there.
You took me there.
Yeah, no, you made
And
that choice.
I could not get on my feet.
Yeah.
And there were instructors over teaching people that were watching down the beach like, are we going to go have to help that lady? And
She might be in
I
jeopardy.
Thought, you might, but you came in and helped me. You just had to drag my out where I could stand up.
Yes, it was,
There was
that simple.
There was nowhere.
You needed
it was
another plan.
Too shallow of water.
Right.
And rocks with fins on. So I was never getting up. The wave would just knock me back again. Anyway, I'm sure it was very comical. I thought, oh my goodness,
Yeah,
I bet
Nora,
I just
you're right. Nora's
gave
wasn't quite that funny.
No,
It was a
mine
little funny, though.
Mine was. I am certain I entertained the beach.
What did you think of her explanation when she finally got back up there and to end some of the torture?
I don't know. I tend to kind of just tune out.
Lauren, you're my number one, she started with.
And Lauren's like, oh, yay.
Dean,
I'm
you're
her
so
number
smooth.
one. I'm going to the end for the...
Tommy, you're
no.
loyal and an incredible person and helped get me here.
And I don't
Tommy
care.
tells
This
us
is
I
what
have
I'm-
no clue what she's saying.
Well, nobody did until she said...
Lauren did not take the news well
No, she didn't.
when she found out she was going to have to make fire.
I don't understand that. I'm your number one, and yet you're making me do fire.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, but Nora was correct in that she was a big threat. The only thing is I kind of saw them all as threats to Nora. I really didn't. I thought there was maybe a slim chance she could get a couple of votes, but I kind of thought everyone had the advantage. So, but still, it was her decision.
Lauren tells us that she has not made fire the whole time.
Well, Lauren, not a smart move.
I'd say your plan since when you were 7 sucked.
It's like you've been playing this.
I got no
7.
problem being blunt about this stuff.
Never made a fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've missed one critical lesson.
I mean, wouldn't you just on principle go out and buy some flint and make a fire if you got accepted onto the show? Even if you had one day, wouldn't that be something you would at least practice once doing?
I don't know. I've made lots of fire with flint and magnesium.
On the
yeah,
internet.
they're great videos. There's all this. It's not even a lot of effort. So
And if you're
I
out
have
there
no
anyway,
respect for her or Dean in this context at all.
Yeah. And because it's coming. You don't know you're going to have to do it, but you might have to do it. I don't understand that. That always kind of irritates
It's
me
only
a
going to
little
be a
bit.
plus. Look, if you're applying
And if you
Do
don't
it.
have to do it,
Just
great.
practice.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's kind of a pet peeve for you and me, huh?
Yeah, you definitely, well, and you kind of owe it to
I have
yourself
a
to
pet
do that.
peeve.
Yeah, you think you have just one? You really owe it to yourself to do that. It's making a friction fire, even making fire like that. There's something magical to it. You should, if you're applying to be on the show, you should get some experience with it.
Yeah, I thought just kind of the way the words came out of Nora's mouth, but everyone likes you, Lauren. You have to make fire against Dean. Tommy doesn't know how, and I choose to believe him, and so you'll have to go up against Dean.
Yep.
Because I can't take you to the end. Everyone likes you. But that was just kind of a backhanded compliment.
I don't even know if it was
In the
backhanded. Yeah, it was just straightforward, really. Well, I guess it was backhanded in the sense of saying you're my number one. But really what she meant was you're the biggest social threat here.
Exactly.
And Tommy was pretty
Like,
clear
no,
on
I'm not your number
wanting
one.
Lauren out, too. Even
That
though
was misleading.
she was his ride or die.
Okay,
So what'd you think about Tommy's strategy here?
actually, I thought that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
And
Tommy knows that he has to do something, and that Lauren was, and I do believe, a bigger threat to him than the other two.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah,
But this is also jury management.
True.
Really is what that is.
True.
I'm putting time in with each of you to make sure you have some skills.
and it was very deceptive and just delicious survivor play.
Okay.
It's because he pretended to be best buddies with both of them, helped them in their endeavor so that he would be on their good side no matter what happened.
And actually help
That's
Dean
what you
more
should do.
to help tilt the balance in favor of getting rid of Lauren.
Exactly. What he shouldn't have done was let Nora know so that she could tell on him. Of course, Dean might have too, but still, at least he did it. And
What'd you think of that exchange between Nora and Lauren? That got weird quick, didn't it?
Yeah, I
Nora
kind of.
threatening to steal all the machetes so she
I
couldn't
blame that
practice.
on Nora.
Yeah.
Leave her alone. You already kicked her in the teeth. Now you're watching her practice, and you can't shut up.
You've got that shirt. We've talked about it before. I'm talking and I can't shut up. That's definitely
I
Nora.
bought that for you, honey. So
Yes, I know. I enjoy
I
it.
could wear.
Yes.
And because sometimes
It is my reality.
I am that way.
Yeah.
It says help. I'm talking and I can't shut up.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly where Nora was
Yep,
there.
she was.
Even when someone asks her politely to go away, she can't stop talking.
Yeah, and then to make threats.
That's her basic entitlement thing, I believe. Yeah, and then the threatener, that was just weird.
That was beyond weird for me. That was really strange.
In spite of all that, Lauren tells us that she believes in herself and she wants to be a superhero and make fire.
Well, and even going so far as to say, I'm in control. Lauren should be humble right now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're still back with Nora?
Well, I'm still hung up on that. I'm thinking, maybe we missed a little bit of the exchange, but I thought, if she asked you to go away, Nora, go away.
Yeah, she doesn't do that for anyone. She always keeps talking.
Okay, we'll move along.
Final four, tribal council on night 38.
Yep, everybody finds out. Nora wins.
Her third individual
Yep.
immunity.
Yep,
Guaranteeing
which is
her
impressive.
final three.
That is impressive. So she did have a resume. So,
For one part of the game, yeah.
yeah, and she explains and tells the jury, I'm trying to take Lauren out. I don't think I can beat her. And I'm sure the jury's thinking,
After declaring
just Lauren?
after declaring that Lauren's face was rude,
Yeah, well,
Lauren tells us she's not going to go down without a fight.
ain't good for her. Here's what I didn't get when Lauren says, well, if I'm a threat, she better watch out if I come back. Why? What are you going to do? What are you going to do to her at that point? But I'm sure that was just her anger and irritation talking.
Tommy's excited to see who's going to be the number 3 there with him.
And he can't talk about what his strategy would be till he knows who it's going to be against.
Dean's playing it cool. He just says that he's not surprised and he's ready to go.
Missy speaks even though she's not supposed to.
She offers some fake popcorn to Kelly, and they munch away at the show.
Yep.
All right, Lauren versus Dean. What did you think?
It went exactly like we thought it would.
Mm-hmm.
Dean won, though she did do a good job. She got the fire going.
She eventually did.
Some people don't do that.
Her technique was awful. Probst was trying to help her. He's like, hey, quit throwing the husk and the string on there. It's just going to flame out really quick.
Yep.
But Dean got his
more
fire
than that.
built up. You know, one thing that people miss out on, and I'm sure they're anxious, they don't want to waste much time.
You
but
don't think is good.
A fire stick would be a feather stick where you take your knife and you sort of shave, but they're still attached to get the little curlers that come off of the wood. That's really good for those kind of fires like that. Feather sticks are awesome for helping get that kind of fire like that going. And it would help build up the structure too, the base of your fire, so it could get the height it needed. What'd you think about the fire, Dean's fire? He got the height he needed, but then it just danced.
Angling.
It danced along the actual string there without burning it out. So it was like it wasn't focused on one part.
Get back over there.
Right. But he eventually gets it, and he secures the final 3 spot.
And Lauren cries, telling us, hey, she spent 38 days outside, and she made fire, so she can hold her head up high. And she, too, hugs Jeff goodbye.
Imagine what it could have been like if you'd spent some of those intervening, 18 years simply learning how to make fire.
How to make fire. Okay, yes, we get it, baby. Okay. We've kind of beat that horse to death.
All right.
Okay, so Nora, Tommy, and Dean are our final 3.
Okay, well, that's where the season has headed to.
And Lauren tells us that Nora was right. Everyone on the jury likes me. I probably would have won.
She wanted to get that in there as a little bite.
But, she didn't seem that when I watched the Ponderosa video real quick while you were setting up.
Yeah.
And she didn't seem all that confident going in there the first time. She wasn't sure how they were going to treat her.
Okay.
And even Elaine wasn't quite sure. So Elaine and her were BFFs, and so Elaine greeted her, and then the other people did too, and she thanked them.
Good. Yep, Probst brings her out on the stage after she's been voted out before we go to the next commercial, and Lauren tells us, toot, toot, I did that.
Yep, she's an inspiration to someone else, too.
Yeah, good deal.
And thanks to Jeff for the opportunity, since he got her the opportunity to try out.
Or thanks to her friend, who's a friend of Jeff. Yeah.
Yep, thank that person. Okay, day 39, season 39, Tommy tells us.
Mm-hmm.
Nora says she is sitting pretty in the final 3.
She has played in the moment.
Yep.
I mean, she did not have a plan.
I never dreamed she would get there either, so not until later on when I thought, oh, she's perfect to take to the end.
She's kind of seemed like a goat all along. I was just surprised that they drug her that far.
Yeah, but then she started winning all those challenges, so I thought, well...
Individual, yeah. But again, you don't generally win Survivor just because you win challenges.
No, you got to have some game, but she did have some game. It's just those moments of lack of lucidity.
We get to see them chow down on the famous last breakfast there where they get to have pancakes and bacon and all kinds of goodies.
Sausage.
Mimosas, I guess they can make with their orange juice and champagne.
So Tommy says he's proved that he can conquer anything. And Dean is most proud of himself than he's ever been before.
Yeah, that was interesting.
That's great. They're all happy and
Tommy's
ready
pretty clear.
to go.
He says it's really as far as he can see, it's a 2-man race, but you never know what version of Nora's going to show up.
That's true. You don't know how people are going to feel or if they're going to be resentful or.
I like this next segment. Yes, Nora, I will help you prepare your final tribal speech where Tommy coaches her along while she shares what she plans to say.
And he didn't even share that with Tribal, but that might have been a bit over the top to share. Might have discounted the things she said about Dean.
Probably came out. Yeah, because the big plan was to call Dean a lackey.
Yeah, and I thought, Nora went right in there. Why would you ask someone you're up against to help you.
He made himself vulnerable. He said, I can't make fire. Will you please take me? And we can make a
She's
pact
like,
to be final
and I can't
too.
make a speech, so can you help me?
Yeah, there you go. It's just quid pro quo.
But there was no
some
final
reciprocation.
two. It's final three. There's no final two. But okay, I get it.
She said she knew that Tommy was stroking her ego at the same time, but still, that did seem like a pretty sharp play on his part.
Yeah, and she might have just taken what he said and analyzed it, and that she may well have found something to use against Tommy while he was doing that. So maybe it was Nora's strategy all along, just gathering information.
Tommy tells us that he's played hard from day one, so he's happy with how he ended up here, basically. And Dean tells us that he turned it on when he needed to, so he wasn't playing the whole time.
Well, he's got to be a little bit careful, too, with the, if you're a fan, you'll love my game. Or, if you're truly a fan, you'll appreciate what I did here.
Nora tells us that she's a disruptor and nobody plays like her. Well, I don't think technically that's true. They're part of an archetype that they cast into, but Nora wouldn't know that.
No, because I'm sure she was recruited.
Been plenty other disruptors.
Okay, so final tribal council, day 39.
All power transfers to the jury now.
Yep.
Starting out with Outwit. Talk about your alliances, your emotional intelligence, aspects of your social game.
Well, and I believe they had elected Jack to say that, they were very
level
undecided.
playing field, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of times the jury's already made up their mind when they go in there, for the most part. Not that it can't be changed, but I think they really weren't sure.
Possibly, although I would be really
Some
surprised
of them should have been.
if any of them were really considering the option of voting for Nora.
No, I'm still pretty sure it was between two, but at least they listened to her until they couldn't.
Kelly
anymore.
hits them with the first detailed question, which is, let's hear your strategies and how they evolved. And Missy pipes in to say, and let's start with Dean.
Don't stand out.
Just be chill.
And he strokes Kelly, saying she kept him in the game. But I was actually quite impressed with the jury and their questions and how they
You're just
really...
saying overall, right?
Overall.
Yeah.
And how they fired things back. If they said something and they were on it, they were paying attention, they were engaged. And I liked that. I thought they did it very well and had some pretty good questions.
Nora confirms what we've suspected all along. She basically says, I'm not a fan, and
She's not a typical fan.
built mnemonics to help her. So she explains her bland mnemonic and how that helped her focus on the game.
Yeah, that's when they're like, stop.
Well, she started getting really emotional, or talking about...
Her game was emotional.
Yeah.
And that she lives
Elaine-
spontaneously.
Elaine was trying to explain to her how that doesn't have anything to do...
That
That's
is
the
not
antithesis of having a strategy
strategizing.
and executing it.
But then I think it was Janet that said it first. Stop, Nora.
Yeah.
Because they knew she was going off on a tangent, and I'm sure they'd seen a lot of those. So
Tommy's all about making connections and making people comfortable, just like he does with his kids in class. And he wanted to play the middle, that's a strong strategy. We've seen lots of winners come from there, and he wanted ears on both sides.
well, here's the thing. I think Nora shot herself in the foot.
Yeah.
If she had any chance at all, I think when she said, well, sue me, I actually want to get to know people. I thought, oh, Nora,
Yeah,
okay.
that doesn't
They're
work.
done listening to you when you talk to them like that.
Right.
So
You just
now
quit being rational.
You don't.
If you ever
you don't
were.
even. If you had any shot, it's over.
Right.
They're not going to hear you now. So they did continue to listen, but okay.
I expected more Nora montages, like we were going to get a montage with every, section from her, but thankfully we didn't.
We would have. So Lauren's question to Tommy was, who were you most loyal to, Tommy? And he said to you,
Yep.
which he'd already told us was the truth. So he answered that truthfully.
Yep, he did what Jack asked for. Be truthful.
But she needed him to say it in front of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave her that. So.
Sure. That doesn't cost him anything there.
And then Nora did. Tommy's not honest with you, Lauren. He taught Dean things he didn't teach you and make the fire. He didn't want you to leave. He didn't teach you that. Well, and Tommy, I thought he didn't always do well, but he did. He was consistent.
Mm-hmm.
I had eyes and ears everywhere, like you said. And he didn't ride on coattails like Dean, so he was putting Dean down.
Right. When he made his coattails remark. Yep.
And he answered Janet honestly. Yeah, I decided around final 8 that, I love you, and I wish you were here. That'd be great, but I knew I couldn't beat you. So, yeah, I did plan it. And he admitted to lying, and I thought, well, okay. That's what she needed to hear it and see if you would tell the truth. Because Lauren had already told her, so.
Yep. Dean says his approach was to be honest, and that was his path. He never promised anyone anything.
Well, nobody really, I don't think, commented when Nora said, well, if I say something, I do it.
Yeah.
They just moved on. But and Tommy, Festa, I agreed when I came out here. I'll lie, I'll cheat, I'll steal coming out here. It's time for me to look after me and my family, and I didn't come out here to make friends, and I used it. I admit it.
We have a great build here as Jamal asked him if there were any lines they weren't willing to cross.
Mm-hmm.
It's important because this one's going to come back to bite Dean. Nora said she had no regrets. And Tommy explains how he had to tell his kids that he was going to lie, cheat, and steal, but he wasn't going to be a bully. That was a line he wouldn't cross. Dean says, well, I never thought of lines. Kelly jumps on that and says, basically, you had no ethical plan at all, right? And Dean said he never promised final 3, final 2.
Okay, then they move on to the outplay part. And Janet wants to know, what would we do if, not Janet, Jamal wanted to know that we, okay, let me start over. Jamal wanted to ask what people thought about when they thought about what they would do if they won the final immunity challenge. And Nora got the opportunity to do that. So he asked them to help him understand why she made the decision she made. And that's when she went through that again.
Proceeds to get it all turned around and bonkers and wrong. Yeah, so
just
she
like
says
I
that
was doing. Maybe that's why I was doing.
Yeah, you got a touch of Nora.
I got Nora vibe.
I need to take some Advil. Nora explains how she brought Dean because he's a follower. He just follows the numbers, and Jamal quickly points out, no, Nora, you brought Tommy. You had Dean make fire.
Yes, that is accurate. But do you think it hurt her in any way by saying, I felt I could beat Tommy and Dean over Lauren? Which, yeah, okay.
No, I don't think that kind of stuff's necessarily is a negative. It's not going to always blow up on you. Sometimes that's exactly what you need to say.
And she followed up saying, and Tommy said he couldn't make fire, which he lied, but it worked, so. And Tommy just pointed out again that, yep, and that was my social play that I told you that.
What did you think when Jamal described Tommy as a goat?
That surprised me a little bit. I understand what he was saying, that it made him a goat because Nora chose to bring him.
Right.
But, yeah, that's not typically. It's a goat throughout the game.
Well, it's not even
being pulled forward over and over again.
Yeah, it doesn't even necessarily have to be throughout the game. What I always view a goat is someone who has who's viewed by others as not having a chance to win.
A strategy.
No.
Or a chance to win.
You talked over what I was saying. This person's not going to win. Therefore,
so they make the perfect goat.
I want them to sit beside me.
Yeah.
Just because she chose him to be part of the final 3 and he didn't have to make fire to get there.
Yeah,
I don't think that necessarily made him a goat. But it was an interesting point to make that would be the first time so far that the person who was chosen like that actually ended up winning.
Yeah, because that actually surprised me a little bit. Because I had thought when I was
It's normally the goat that is brought like that.
Yeah.
But in this case, we've never viewed Tommy as a goat.
No, but he made his point, and that was what he needed to do, I guess.
Aaron wanted to hear about competition. Tell me about your individual immunity strategy, because that's pretty much where he got stuck in the whole context of the game.
Yeah, I don't think other people were as into that. He seemed to approve of what Nora had to say because they were both
won 3.
with the physical.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So
And he would respect that.
She embodies what he was looking for. Yeah.
And
Tommy tries to tell him that wasn't my goal.
maybe an opportunity to talk about fitness.
I wasn't trying to win individual immunities. Well, he didn't say it that way because he did try in some of them, but he wasn't as concerned about winning those or finding advantages in things as long as he knew who had them.
Right. That he was manipulating, and he got to stay under the radar and behind the scenes, and yet was still able to utilize, and he pointed out the fact that I knew Janet had the idol, I knew Dean had the nullifier, and then that is that. So, okay, he takes credit for the Janet vote out because he told.
Dean wasn't done, though. He wasn't just going to sit that one out. He jumped on it. And so he whips out the now expired fake legacy advantage. And Jamal, ever so slightly, explained it to him. He just let him down so easy, like on a feather bed there.
Yeah, Jamal did that well.
And complimented him on the fact that he didn't need it. But Dean's got the 1-2 punch plan here. So, but wait, there's more. I had the hidden immunity idol, and he had that note, and that note was awesome.
Yes,
basically, Boston Robin Sandra, not to name drop, but yeah, I'm name dropping, gave me this note.
Missy was like, whoa.
Yeah, she was very excited and animated. So that was actually his high point right there when he explained all the things that he had put together and had, even if they were fake. And then I think they were impressed with his plan that he fakes the fake, even though he didn't know it was a fake.
Yeah, and Tommy was trying to discount all that, and that's when Aaron stopped him and said, hey, I'm trying to help you out, Tommy. You don't need to downplay what Dean's done. You don't need to say that. And then the women were like, no, I want to hear it. I want to. It's like, shut up, Aaron. We want to hear it. So they didn't say that, but
yeah,
that was basically the point. No, we want to hear it.
And we got more questions.
Yes.
It's okay. Dean's got to be soaring. This is the zenith of his final tribal council when he's actually dropping all the bling that he had, all the power, all the good stuff that he had at this point in the game.
And right as they're like nailing Dean for the 3 leaders, are like, hey, you promised us final 3. You said you didn't promise nobody final 3, and yes, you did. And thunder and lightning and rain and all of this
they got a
stuff
deluge.
is happening.
Yeah.
They're like, oh
Bottom
my
fell
goodness,
out.
what is happening?
Yeah, so he got busted. He went to go explain about how he had such a great plan with Elizabeth, and that he had a final early on. He had a final 2 plan with her, and then that's what set those alarms off that you were just talking about.
Well, and he shouldn't have said anything back to Karishma about, why are you? And she's like, because you're sitting in that seat and I'm not.
He just kept, he walked right into the wood chopper.
Yeah, it's like, no.
He went from his highest high point of tribal council into a low. Even he said, that
he's like, oops.
Yeah, he acknowledged when it rained, it pours. Well, and it was pouring all over him at that point.
That's what you have to remember at tribal council too, because these people
you remember
have been
this simple
polite,
fact, Dean, and every other man out there. I'll just give you a tip: women won't forget any of the things.
Not ever.
And they'll come right back on you at final tribal council. Oh my goodness! Be careful with absolute statements. Yes, boy, he just right in the wood chopper on that one.
Well, you would think. I think he forgot.
Yes, he did.
I think he just completely said, "Oh no, I never did that." Blah, blah. And he believed what he was selling.
He did. And that's why he paused, because he was trying to make sure that he wasn't about to.
Like, really, I did that
to cause himself grief. But he didn't catch that one, and it slipped out, and then they were all over him.
Women talk.
Like a pack. Yeah, they chewed
They
him
tell
up.
each other, they're like, he promised me fun. He promised me fun. Well, he
So
promised
Kelly busted him for false promises to Karishma and several other people.
But Nora tells us that, oh, okay, well, that rain just kind of cleared the air and
I don't
we're all
think
good now.
you look at Dean's body language. He
Yeah.
didn't look cleansed or cleared.
No.
He was happy to move on to the outlast portion. But yeah, that one didn't go so well.
Well, and Tommy sums it up. Thanks for the memories. I made a ton of risky, big moves. I didn't need any idols, and I got myself here. So, who do you want to represent you for our season 39?
Mm-hmm.
That was good. I thought, yeah.
That seemed like a strong ending. I even like Nora's.
Thought, well, it was a crazy season. They might choose Nora.
All that she showed up with in terms of her skills. So she was very thankful also, and acknowledged that she was a wild card and a crazy person, but she was proud to be there.
But I think she was very sincere, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, that's your award, Nora. You got to be there.
Well, and Dean, I thought was a little all the fans will. You think about now my jaw-dropping nullifier play, and I was on the bottom of the lyro from the beginning, which
Underdog
is true.
Story, yeah.
He does have that. That's true, and he had all that jewelry at the end.
Right. Final five. Yep. He was powered up.
Help me rewrite history.
Yeah.
Let's do it together. Come on, y'all.
Good pitch, too. So we get to see the jury start to vote, and we see Lauren say, here's the definition of loyalty, as she casts her vote for Tommy, and then Aaron casts his vote for Dean. We see Lauren cast her vote for Tommy, and then Aaron casts his vote for Dean, because he was just excited with how good Dean did in the challenges, I think.
And the glaringly obvious thing was no vote for Nora.
Yeah, if there had been one, they would have shown it. So you could have expected a 1-1-1 three-way tie to start the reading of the votes.
Yeah, and that did not happen. So.
No. So Tommy and Dean are tied through 2 votes, and then Tommy pulls away with it.
Yep, and Dean got votes from Aaron and Elizabeth. Yeah, thought that was interesting.
Yeah, who knows what's going through her head.
Were friends at one point.
Yeah,
they were on the
sure.
same
Started out together.
tribe, and Aaron too. So maybe that was part of it.
What was that weird wig thing that Tommy's relative
clue.
was shaking?
I don't know.
Bizarre, wasn't
bright
it?
red one.
Yeah.
But I don't know why.
Yeah, that was bizarre.
I'm sure it had some meaning for them. But
yep, so they rush the stage, and then Tommy goes out and gives a big hug to his student who's there, and then Elaine jumps into his arms as they go to commercial, so he gets a big hug from her. All right.
And they all seemed really relaxed.
Anything else you want to say about the finale before we move on to the reunion?
Nope, let's go to the reunion.
Okay.
Jeff's talking to Tommy. You were very open about information was your game.
Yep. And that's something that we were able to pick up on early on, how well connected he seemed to be. So those hints were there in the beginning. I wouldn't call it a winner's edit.
No, I don't think so either.
But we definitely got to learn about how well connected he was to people. And that's big. If you can be a communications hub in the context of the game, that's huge.
And Sandra tells us that Tommy didn't need to go to Island of the Idols, but Rob highlights that, but everyone who did come there said they were Tommy's ride or die. Mm-hmm. So that was pretty good.
Yeah, it sort of, my thought was, that's what I expected. They invalidated the concept. The guy who won didn't need it, and they were very clear on him not needing it, and that it's really about a social game.
Yep.
That they really offered no tangible advice for that was helpful.
Well, and Tommy said, I love these people, but I was playing for my family, and I was playing to win. Which, if you're going out there, that's exactly the mindset you need. So I don't blame anyone for that.
There's definitely people who are cast every season who do not have that as a goal.
That is true.
Some of them actively undermine that goal.
And Dean just tells us it was one of his best life experiences.
Yeah, stripped him down and made him thankful, which that is just a huge life lesson. When you get that drilled into you really clear about what it means to live a life of thankfulness, not just a certain time of year. I know after I went to the Philippines and saw the hardship so many families were living under there, it changed me completely. Just getting to see that, just being there for a couple of weeks, it totally changed me. And it helped me cultivate a life of thankfulness.
Comfortable there. I remember you were just anxious all the time, and you really wanted to get done with the work just as fast and just come home.
There's a lot of reasons, because when you get in that far away time zone wise, you're not resting.
Yeah.
I was taking malaria pills, which they can really affect you mentally, and they're cobras on the job site that they're clearing daily.
Yeah.
So, and every time we got into a taxi or a jeepney, the person that was driving didn't know how to get us to the destination. It was crazy. Okay, so that's a tangent, but my point was that I really liked hearing that Dean had gotten that critical life lesson out of this.
True.
And it seemed like it was genuine what he said. And so I'm really happy for him to have gained that perspective.
When he got to granola, Jeff interrupted him and moved on to Nora.
Yeah.
So,
You like her advice? If you follow the herd, you'll never be heard. Go stand out and I'll use the short version, go be a peacock.
She
made a goofy goof there.
She wanted to play her game her way, and at least she was consistent every day.
Yep, Probst acknowledged Elaine as being a fan favorite, and we got to hear her nom 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 again.
Yep.
And she stated that she was blessed and she got everything she needed out of the experience.
Though she did want the money. She did need the money.
Sure.
But
Krishma explains about the importance of the hug. So she didn't say they weren't still together, so I'm taking that as they're together.
Oh yeah, I think they are. And
got to go back over the Jack Jamal incident a little bit, and Jamal talked about how important that was and how it's enabled all sorts of great conversations, and that he and Jack are actually roommates now.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, big surprise.
Well, you said he was dating Elizabeth. You read somewhere.
I read somewhere that Jack was, dating Elizabeth. I don't know if that's true or not. I didn't follow that up.
Alrighty.
So, Sia Award, which Probst described as weird. That seemed a little disrespectful to her. I guess he thinks it's weird, but...
Well, strange that someone's willing to give people money for the joy they brought them.
Mm-hmm.
I think
as opposed to a corporation giving them money?
Yeah.
Because
a corporation giving money for a tax write-up.
That used to be, well, yeah, you can bet Sia's got someone covering that for her too, but... Yeah,
as she should, so... But anyway, he awards... Jamal looks touched.
Sia did. Yeah.
I know. Awards Jamal the money.
Yeah. Probst tells him that Sia's given him $15,000.
And he seems very surprised.
Yeah.
And then, I thought he was probably even more surprised, Elaine got $100,000.
Right.
It's like, whoa.
Yep. You could see that sent her into shock.
You could tell Elaine her demeanor completely... Mm-hmm. It's like she was going to burst into tears.
Right.
You know, she teared up and was like, what?
Janet went in to comfort her about the same time she learned it.
You deserve it. You deserve it.
She has also been awarded $100K.
That's right. Yeah. And it's like, oh, that's awesome. I'm great that, I just love it that Sia does that. And they were all deserving, so.
Yeah, it was nice to hear. And then Probst tells us that Kelly's chance to speak is coming up.
There were some great teaching moments, women's alliance, but there's more men's alliance, and it was never mentioned that. That is strange.
I think that's actually a goof on his part, because Kelly even said in a later interview that
was strategy.
She didn't mean what she had said, but he repeated it anyway. Maybe that's just someone who was writing the script for Probst to put that in.
Yeah.
In any case, they did get down to the important part, and he started off by apologizing, I was impressed by that. your voice should have been enough, and you deserve to have been protected.
And
I wasn't sure she was going to get through it there. She kept saying the pressure.
Yeah, she got so nervous
to represent. Yeah,
to speak for other people.
Yeah,
it's one thing to speak for yourself, but if you feel like you're speaking for a lot of other people, that's a huge burden.
She had talked before in the game about feeling pressure and how much that could unsettle her. So so I thought they had a good exchange there, and she expressed her thankfulness for the changes and the actions, and acknowledged that it looked like they were making the effort to do better.
I think Jeff did do a good job of walking her through it, trying to help her.
He was supportive. That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they'd already put an article out, and so there are articles out there about what they're implementing in the game from future seasons.
Yep. Next time on Survivor?
Next season on Survivor.
Winners at War. That's what it is. I was going to say War of the Winners, but it's Winners at War.
Yeah, I don't know. We're not always keen on returning seasons, but this feels different because it's all winners.
Oh, it's absolutely different, and we really enjoyed Heroes versus Villains.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very hopeful that the cast here, the 20 returning folks, is so packed with potential and some of the sharpest people to really ever play. I'm excited to see Denise and Kim Spradlin and Sophie and
let's list them. Kim Spradlin and Sophie and Sarah, Ben, 1L Michelle is going to be on again. Sandra, Ethan, Rob and Amber, and Wendell and Tony and Yule.
Yeah.
That's a surprise.
Yule's probably the guy I'm most excited to see.
And Danny Boatwright. She's really a nice lady.
Oh, yeah.
And I look forward to seeing her play, too. And Natalie.
It just seems like the women are powerhouse. I got to say, the women in season 40, to me, feel like they're on a different level above the men players, except for maybe Yule.
Okay, I think what I'm going to do is maybe read who's on what tribe. Would that be interesting?
Okay. Yeah, we could do that.
Okay, for the Blue Tribe next season, you've got Rob, Ethan, Ben, Jeremy, and Adam Klein for the men. And the women on that team are Natalie, Parvati, Michelle, Denise, and Danny. Woo! And that's versus the red team of Sarah, Kim, Amber, Sandra, and Sophie. And the men on that tribe are Tony, Wendell, Tyson, Yule, and Nick. At least as best we could tell. So that's pretty cool. And
I'm completely unexcited for Edge of Extinction to return.
Well, yeah, that part. But
they're including fire tokens, so there's a survivor currency. They're going to be able to buy advantages. They're going to be able to buy comfort. They're going to be able to
buy food.
To buy things to send to people on Edge of Extinction, and Edge of Extinction folks are going to be able to buy advantages and send them in to the people still playing the game.
Yeah, so there's some twists and turns.
And the prize is bumped up from 1 million to 2 million.
To 2. That in itself is very exciting.
And it's not very far away. It starts back up again on February 12th with a 2-hour opener.
All right.
So I'm optimistic. I want to be like Dean and be optimistic because he's absolutely right. The other life lesson that he seems to have mastered is to avoid the negativity. It's something that you have to practice actively, but not getting caught up in the negative is where you want to be. You have to actively cultivate the positive. And I want to do that with this season, even though I'm absolutely not looking forward to Edge of Extinction. Wish they wouldn't have included a game-breaking mechanism in there in their quest to keep the cast around to the bitter end.
Yep, but that's a done deal. So.
There's no incentive to leave. They're going to be able to buy comforts while they're there. They actually broke it further.
Maybe.
They broke it further. Oh, goodness. But this cast, really excited to
I'm excited
see some of
about
these people
cast.
play.
Yeah. And for this season, I really enjoyed the finale and reunion. I think they did a good job of, wrapping things up and not sweeping things under the carpet. They did address things, but they didn't get too heavy into it, I don't think. So overall, it was better than I was afraid it might be. So I'm going to go with that.
Yeah, there we are. So it is over, and we're looking forward to wrapping up our season of podcasting. Yes, sorry, let's do a JSFL update. We don't want to skip over the important part. I'll come back to the final listener feedback show in just a minute.
Congratulations to Karrie in Illinois for winning JSFL this season with 131 points.
Good job, Karrie.
All right. There were 123 people who chose Tommy to win.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So as far as the side challenge, congratulations to Randy for winning the side challenge. You got bragging rights for that with 130 points.
And you get to choose the song that you want the parody of.
Yes. If you could get that to us by the deadline on Saturday for the listener feedback show so that we could announce it and pass it along to the loser.
Mm-hmm. Okay, keep going.
Okay, so with 124 points, we've got Justin. 113 points for Slappy.
Nice.
103 points for Stacy. With 101 points, Bandon, Jeremiah, and Carl. With 83 points, Jonathan. With 80 points, ColdMike, James-n-Shannon. 75 for Parker. 60 for JKindred and Rebecca. 50 points for Jack, 45 for Carolyn, 42 for Drew, and 41 for Chris.
There we go. Chris, you got some singing to do, bud. We'll get it to you as soon as Randy provides it.
All right.
Well, like Joanne said, we'll be doing our last listener feedback show of the season. If you got some last thoughts that you want to share about this season or something you might be looking forward to in season 40, what you're excited about there, we'd love to hear from you. We just had fantastic, even though this has been a very difficult season and will likely forever be tainted, we had fantastic listener feedback shows this season. So it was really good, great involvement. I'd like to see some, just, one more time of that if you got it in you. I know it's busy.
You guys made it worthwhile.
Busy holiday. The voicemail line, 206-350-1547. Toll free, 844-643-8737. The email, joanneandstacy@gmail.com. You can record your own and send it, or just call the voicemail, or you can write it up, and either Joanne or I will read it into the show on your behalf. We'd love to hear from you. We've had a great cast in the listener feedback show this season. Come on in one more time, and we'll wrap this one up. Feedback's due noon Pacific on Saturday, and then we'll be done. Anything else you would like to add?
No, I believe we've covered it.
Yes. It's a long night. It's a late night, but a good night.
That's true.
Yeah. Have a good one.
Good night.